Support for WUWM podcasts comes from Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, home to 24/7 excitement, dining, and an on-site hotel at 1721 West Canal Street. More information at potawatomi.com.
You're listening to Lake Effect Spotlight from WUWM, Milwaukee's NPR station. Here's one of our favorite conversations about what's happening in the city.
WUWM is examining systemic housing problems and solutions for more affordable housing. When it comes to the housing challenges in Milwaukee, a lot of it comes down to cost. People may want to buy, but simply can't afford to. Today, we're looking into community organizations that are creating their own path to homeownership and hearing from people who've been waiting their whole lives for a home to call their own. WUWM's Jimmy Gutierrez brings us the story.
To kick off 2026, Melody McCurtis and the Metcalf Park Community Bridges team in Milwaukee had a surprise to share with Shirley Dunn.
You know, that house you've been checking on for us, making sure ain't no dumping happening and all that on 33rd?
I'm here to tell you. But the house is yours.
And that is Shirley, longtime Metcalf Park resident and longtime renter. She had just won the neighborhood's lease-to-own lottery.
This is not a rent. This is a rent-to-own. This house will be completely yours in 15 years.
Thank you.
Completely yours.
Oh, my God.
The Reclaim and Restore initiative works like this. Community Bridges buys a home from the city for cheap. This one, $1. They rehab and remodel it from the studs with local contractors, and they keep it all incredibly affordable.
The house is $105,000. Then we add on the cost of the insurance for the house and the taxes. I'm around it. It's $901 a month. $901 a month.
Yeah, $901. So in 15 years, this house will belong outright to Shirley Dunn. Last week, she and her family walked through the house together, and you could not wipe the smiles off their faces.
We tested the porch.
Going room to room, planning their future.
Yeah, that's like a sitting area, like part of the living room, the dining room.
No, that's a den. This the living room.
But I'm saying like the den
Right.
area, like.
We're gonna put some bar stools up there.
This is Tyrone Dunn, Shirley's husband.
I like how they did the cabinets though. That's nice. Nice. I like that.
Shirley has been renting all of her adult life. She's 56 now. She says she's never been late on rent and is tired of making landlords rich. Same with Tyrone.
Plus, I've been around here ever since I've been 19. My mother stayed in the house for 33 years on 33rd between Center and Hatley. So I know how it is when you renting, and you just not getting nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So it feel good, and it's a blessing. I like to thank Metcalf for blessing me and my family with this home, and I'm going to take care of it.
In Metcalf Park, less than 30% of the homes are owner-occupied. Rent averages around $1,300 in the neighborhood. So trying to save for a down payment and then a mortgage, you'd be better off winning the lottery. But there are organizations like Metcalf Park Community Bridges bridging the homeownership gap one block at a time. This is the third home McCurtis and team has fixed up for the program.
As we go, the first two homes, we worked with two families for those first two homes. This homes, we really just put, an application out there for folks to apply, and it was a waterfall method. And
basically, you earn points on different metrics. How long you've lived in the neighborhood, are you a renter, do you own a home, things like this.
If Shirley was staying in that home for 20 years, if we add up how much rent is going into that home, you have the ability to own. So just wanting to create a pipeline and an opportunity that's not the traditional opportunity to really just be like, hey, let's reclaim these homes, let's reclaim our neighborhood, let's really invest in the people that make it what it is.
One of the reasons why programs like Reclaim and Restore are needed is because it's not easy to reclaim neighborhoods.
We often talk about supply and demand, and don't get me wrong, there is a lack of supply and there's a lack of buying power from tenants. But there's also a power imbalance that's intertwined with those issues.
This is Kevin Solomon, senior organizer with Common Ground in Milwaukee. He's been working with tenants for years fighting this imbalance. To understand why people aren't buying, you need to know where they're getting stuck. And Kevin says corporate landlords are a big part of that problem.
Landlords are organized, have a trade association, have a super PAC, have a hired lobbyist. have agenda items in Madison that they lobby for or in Milwaukee. Just think about that. There's this huge imbalance where tenants are divided and conquered. And yet we see this phenomenal rise in the number of tenants in Milwaukee.
In 2016, renters in Milwaukee numbered around 42%. That number today is over 60%, an almost 20% increase in a decade. And we have more out-of-state landlords than ever before. And as we've seen more people renting, they're also paying more, from around $900 a month to almost $1,400 in that same time. Less money for families, living in worse conditions, and an unfair playing field. This all impacts lease-to-own programs like Metcalf Park in a few ways.
One is it's hard to compete against these big corporate landlords because they have money, resources, attorneys, and can quickly jump on and gobble up the market. New properties come up, boom, they're purchased.
Solomon says these landlords have a tendency to buy up homes in bundles. Think 15 or more properties at a time, a portfolio, just poof, gone. Metcalf Park is working hard to buy just one at a time. Competing with that speed and scale just isn't possible. But it doesn't stop people from trying.
Homeownership, for many, is the driving factor to higher education rates, higher employment, to generational wealth.
This is Joanna Bausch, Executive Director at WUWM CDC, a neighborhood organization on Milwaukee's South Side. Like McCurtis and the folks in Metcalf Park, WUWM has been buying and rehabbing homes with their turnkey program, something they've been at since 2008, right after the housing crisis.
Essentially, it was developed and created to purchase foreclosed and dilapidated properties, and then designed to use philanthropic and government funding to rehab those homes and then sell them back to income-qualified families, many of whom are first-time home buyers.
Bausch says at the end of 2023, they had fully rehabbed and sold 33 properties, almost exclusively single-family properties too, for an average around $130,000 per home. But that work today is more complicated than ever.
A number one barrier to the development of these properties is cost.
Tariffs have impacted WUWM's ability to build, and contractors don't know what to expect either. Another issue is WUWM, after almost 20 years of success, is now classified as a developer.
We're a community developer. We're not a for-profit developer. But there's no sort of category for us when it comes to buying properties from the city. We are placed in the same box as some of these out-of-state investors.
What that means is they've been outbid for homes, they don't have a legal team fighting for properties, and they're only buying homes in Milwaukee, so a much older housing stock where rehabbing is more expensive. But even with those challenges, they're not slowing down. Bausch has transitioned into new home construction, but says the turnkey program has bought and rehabbed homes all over the city in the past, including Metcalf Park working with community bridges. Community groups working together to figure out how to keep community members in their homes, in their neighborhoods.
I would be willing to bet our neighbors in the near north side, if you ask them about housing, they want the same thing our south side neighbors want: access to safe, healthy, affordable housing. That's what they want, that's what they need, and that's what they deserve.
I'm a DJ, so, I'm a DJ.
Back on North 33rd Street, Tyrone and Shirley Dunn are standing in a back bedroom of their new home, planning.
Woman cave. I'm going to have a woman cave. My computer. I run bingo games. Hey, we're going to be playing bingo.
I'm a shopaholic. So one bedroom going to be with all my clothes in it. So
yeah. They already filled up. Them bedrooms already filled up.
Neighborhood initiatives like Metcalf's Reclaim and Restore and WUWM's Turnkey highlight something. They show a different path to homeownership, one that's affordable, one that keeps people in the neighborhoods they've long lived, doing so with dignity. But for every Shirley and Tyrone, there are thousands of people in the city struggling with rent, corporate landlords, and with no lottery to save the day. But a home, Joanna Bausch says, changes everything. Shirley said she never dreamed this day would come, and that this is something everyone deserves to experience.
I got some adult kids. If they need a place to stay, hey, they can always come here.
How do you feel about this view from your porch?
Oh my God. Hey neighbors. I love it.
That story was produced by WUWM's Jimmy Gutierrez. He spoke with Metcalf Park homeowners Shirley and Tyrone Dunn, Metcalf Park Community Bridges Deputy Director Melody McCurtis, VIA CDC's Executive Director Joanna Botch, and Common Ground's Kevin Solomon. That report was part of our series Seeking Solutions Keys to Homeownership. Support for the series comes from presenting sponsor Educators Credit Union. You can find all of our coverage at wuwm.com/housing.
That was the Lake Effect Spotlight podcast. It comes from WUWM, Milwaukee's NPR station. Lake Effect is WUWM's talk show all about what's happening in the city. If you want to hear more conversations like this, subscribe to the Lake Effect Spotlight podcast, and you'll hear highlights from the show. If you want to hear the full show, it's on the radio at noon, Monday through Friday, on 89.7